Howdy, my name's Grant Rhodes, and I'm an independent videographer, as I had to explain many times at this protest. And I decided to go out and film the protests and counter-protests at DRAGgieland 2020. It's very interesting, I love filming this as a hobby, and if I interviewed you, thank you for the interview, I appreciate it. So a while ago, it was announced that A&M would host a drag show at its Big Rudder Theater. And of course, A&M being a conservative campus, many people don't necessarily agree with that. So there were petitions, there were a lot of online arguments, that sort of thing. But what ended up culminating is that a number of people went out, despite the weather, and sort of protested the event, various conservative organizations, and then a lot of people came out and did counter-protests.
Sinners, now and at the hour of our death, amen.
For the intercession of St. Michael.
Why I'm here today is because I'm an ally for the LGBTQ community, and I think being involved in your community and what's going on is important. People from the LGBTQ plus community are being killed for their sexual orientation, for their gender identification. I mean, it's scary, my brother is gay, and it's scary thinking about the fact that some people don't accept him for who he is.
We always seen that Texas A&M was a conservative university, and seeing that it's hosting something as far as a drag queen contest kind of alarmed me, so I wanted to come out and show my opposition and hopefully let the faculty at the university know that there are people, locals here, that want to support the university, that are opposed to it, and that actions like this does change our mind about how we perceive and how we want to support our local university. And honestly, the main protest, the Catholics weren't really engaging either. They were pretty much just chanting different Hail Marys, where the other side's pretty much just chanting "F you, go home." So there's not real dialogue between either of them. But I mean, obviously the counter-protest is much more vulgar. Generally, people that have extreme views can't hold up to arguments, so they have to just shout down your dialogue before it starts.
I saw kind of people putting together this whole protest against DRAGgieland, and they kind of were using it under the guise of religion. I'm a pretty religious individual myself, that's why I wasn't in attendance, but I don't like the idea of people using religion to infringe on a minority's rights. So I decided I'd come to their protest and kind of make them look like the joke that they were. When I came out, it was already a huge counter-protest, so I kind of put my sign together right inside the MSC, and I saw somebody wearing a sign that, holding a sign that said "I have a small penis," and just standing with everybody else over here, so I joined next to him, and we would just walk across and do the Krusty Krab is unfair chant. And so the whole thing was just to take something serious, something seriously aimed at people, and kind of deflate it and, show my support in the best way that I could, which is through humor.
So after a while, the original protesters were scheduled to leave, so they headed out, and the counter-protesters took the stage. And all that was left was them and some sort of people kind of debating in little groups and chatting about the whole event.
This is the framework.
This is where we stop, finding a middle ground.
Our university is tacitly endorsing homosexual men to come dress up as women and do basically what amounts to a runway show in a sexual fashion. If you don't oppose the expansion of this stuff legally, it's going to happen socially, and then they're going to force it on you legally. I mean, you have legislation in Canada. You have to recognize pronouns, otherwise you get put before a human rights tribunal. That's where we're going. We used to joke about bake the cake. You have to have a gay wedding in your church. It's going to expand to transgenderism drag shows. If you deny service because they make people feel uncomfortable, okay, you're guilty of a hate crime now. We're moving in that direction. Fuck you, go home, fuck you. These people hate you, they want you to die. They would rather, and they were chanting earlier, what I basically wanted to do, I hope your kid's not straight, I hope your kid's gay. God is dead. These people hate us. They hate the average American.